His mic.
To the chair. Thank you.
May I please have a roll call?
David Dahl.
Here.
Margot Mooring.
Here.
Nicholas Andrews.
Here.
Debbie Cole.
Here.
Justin Henderson.
Here.
Dean Haddock.
Here.
Matthew Filer.
Here.
Thank you.
Are there any changes or corrections to the minutes dated 14 April 2025 noted by any members?
I don't think we had minutes for this agenda.
Do we not? We don't have
No,
minutes from the last meeting?
Those minutes will be available on the next
Okay.
meeting. They were provided to us a little late for posting.
Is there any correspondence for any item on the agenda?
Nope, no correspondence.
Then I guess we're going to move to new business. May we please have the staff presentation for the comp plan text amendment?
All right, thank you. How's everybody doing? So this is something that some of you may have seen before. In 2018, we were required by statute to develop what's called a water supply facilities work plan, which we did, and it was adopted by reference into the comp plan. It's a separate document. It's not very lengthy, but it requires us to basically just look at our water capacity for potable water usage, and look at projections moving out into the future years to ensure that we have the capacity to provide potable water to the community. So when the regional water supply facilities water supply is updated, we are then required to update our local one within 18 months. So our deadline is fast approaching. Unfortunately, we were too tied up with the comp plan and LDC update to get this to you any sooner. But again, it's a standalone thing. It just gets adopted by reference into the comprehensive plan. So what you have before you, again, I think it's 9 or 10 pages, is the same document we had in 2018 with all of the data updated, the capital improvement projects updated, and some of the projections for population and water usage updated. So I'm happy to answer any questions. We worked with Public Works to get this data updated. So you've got all that information, and then we move it forward as a comprehensive plan update. So happy to answer any questions you guys have. Otherwise, this is just kind of boilerplate stuff the state requires us to do to make sure we have enough water for our community.
Yeah. So looking at this packet of things compared to, never saw the old packet. Is there anything different?
No, the only thing that's different is some of the information, like the maps are essentially the same because our water supply system hasn't changed. Some of the information in the tables has been updated in terms of what treatment plants are operational and what how many gallons a day, if there were changes to that. Again, some of this didn't change because, like I said, we're pretty built out, and our treatment plants are, they're there. They're not decreasing or increasing capacity. And then really just the population numbers, we, update those and get as much as we can. On page 6, you'll see millions of gallons a year. That's part of our consumptive use permit that's issued by the Water Management District. This is pretty static. This doesn't change, but otherwise, no, it's just the format of it hasn't changed, just some of the information contained within it. Our capital outlay projects, those were provided by Public Works.
So from the last one to this one, was there anything with the last plan that stood out that we didn't like, didn't work, needed to be changed?
No, it was blessed by the Water Management District. They said, good job. It checks all the boxes for them for as far as the requirements go. And so we expect the same this time.
Question, that's right. Yeah, this is a little bit of a different context here, but I'm noticing on page 5 at the bottom, can everybody hear me okay? On page 5 at the bottom, there's a reference to, not to freak anybody out, but asbestos cement pipes. And my assumption is that the removal or, dealing with those in any way is what would expose citizens to risk or anything like that. But and I don't know that I can make a motion as alternate, but I do want to at least kind of consider, is there any review, assessment, evaluation that might be advisable as to whether we at least assess the risk of keeping those in the chain of the water supply versus maybe evaluating whether that is something that should be removed at some point?
So that's a great question, and there is a project right now that has identified properties that may have the pipes that we don't want. And so I think homeowners, it's done through Public Works, so it's not really done as part of this. You're able to do an evaluation to see if your home needs to be upgraded for those, so we can slowly eliminate those, like we do with septic tanks, something like that. But it's something I think that we just have identified in here as part of the process, that we have a variety of different types of infrastructure.
Yeah, and I
Through the
think
chair.
calling that out was, oh, sorry.
I have some experience with this. So, asbestos concrete pipe is a non-friable asbestos. Its only real risk is that they tend to degrade over time and cause a lot of leakage. But they're not a health threat. Plus, when we distribute the water, there are things in the water that actually stick to the pipes to keep the water flow more linear and smooth. So, those pipes aren't a risk to health safety. They're really just a risk to water supply as far as degradation and leakage.
So thanks for that. I actually read the exact opposite, but I trust your facts more than my Google research, Christian, any day. I wonder if it's worth considering anything related to the potential for any kind of contaminants, material erosion, that kind of stuff from an environmental perspective at some point in the 10 years of this plan.
Well, so if I could kind of answer that a little bit. So this is really just focusing on our water supply. Public Works generates an entire other report that has to do with water quality, and I believe they do that annually. It's probably on our website. I've seen it there before. So that's where that kind of issue would get addressed. So if you're interested in seeing that, I'll see if I can find it and send it to you.
That's what I was getting at. Thanks, Heather. That's exactly it. So that makes total sense to me. I have no other questions.
Thanks. Are there any further questions for the staff? And that's a good note. I read that as well.
That is a warning word. Asbestos sets everybody's
It
lights
does.
off. Yes, it does.
Okay, I believe I still have to ask this, although I think the answer is very unlikely. Does anybody have any ex parte communication on this? Okay. If not, do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
May I have a roll call vote?
David Dahl,
Yes.
Margot Mooring,
Yes.
Debbie Cole,
Yes.
Justin Henderson,
Yes.
Nicholas Andrews.
Yes. So, and then do we have a planning department report?
I do not believe we have. I have to double check real quick, but I don't think we have any cases for the next first May meeting. So it'll be the second meeting in May, where I know we at least have 2 items. But let me just double check real quick. Thank you. Yeah, anything that we've got coming up will be on the second meeting in May. I'll email you guys if there's any changes to that, but there are a couple items for that meeting, so we'll get that out to you as soon as it's ready.
All right.
The 20 something.
So just to clarify, second meeting in May?
Yeah, I believe so. I'll double check when I get back to the office, but I don't recall having anything that's been advertised for the next meeting.
Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Chairman, can I just ask a question? If that's okay.
Absolutely.
That's right. It'll be the 27th. I'm sorry, because the holiday on Monday.
Okay, so 27 May,
Mhm.
next meeting, next set of business that we're going to have.
Yes.
We had talked at the last meeting about potentially talking about the date and time for upcoming meetings. So I'm not suggesting that we, kind of have an exhaustive discussion now, but maybe we should have a date where we intend to have that conversation so that folks can think it through. It's just a thought. It kind of doesn't affect me because I'm not around that long, but certainly for you guys, if you don't want to do 7 p.m.s or don't want to do Monday or whatever. So just a thought. Thanks.
No, actually, it's a good suggestion. I'm not prepared to actually discuss that right now. I haven't looked deeply enough at it. However, can we set, if we don't have the first meeting in June, that should be enough time for everybody to consider it? I just don't want to extend the 27 May meeting.
Yeah, there are a few items for that. So, I mean, it's up to you if you guys want to put it on the agenda for the first meeting in May. That's
All right.
simple.
Would it be useful and would this be appropriate if you solicited over email folks' recommendations and then you could kind of handle that async and then we could discuss any proposed changes as an agenda item versus like kind of a free-for-all where everybody's pulling out their calendars?
We've done that with council before, just through SurveyMonkey.
Something
So
like that.
I can see, we could probably do something like that, which is easier. We could just, give some options and you guys pick and we'll
Yeah, I would prefer that.
give the results. Yeah, that's
if
pretty
possible.
easy to set up. We can do that.
Okay. And I like the fact that you used async.
Oh,
No. Asynchronous. All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Any opposed? Second. We're adjourned.